right. Well, aloha, everyone. Those who are watching this live there this evening, and also for anyone who watches the recording. Welcome to our Simple Steps to Self-Care seminar. I am Lonnie Almanza, the founder and CEO of Alaka'i Associates, a wellness business helping others lead activated lives. And I was born and raised on the windward side of Oahu. And my experience over the years has been wife, mother, grandmother, teacher, trainer, and facilitator in educational, business, and nonprofit environments. And all of my work has been committed to helping create healthier communities and lives. And I've been very fortunate over the years to have some really wonderful mentors who helped me discover my gift for sharing and guiding people through life's transitions and journeys. And it was through those personal experiences that Alaka'i Associates came to be. And I always dedicate my work to my greatest mentor, my son, Jacob Almanza, who passed from cancer in 2005. So again, welcome and thank you for joining me and gifting yourself with this time for self-care. Just again, a quick prep note before we get started to make sure that you have the handout and a pen or pencil to write with, and also some essential oils or hand cream for our activity at the very end of the session. So with the way our world has been turning these days, I think I can safely say that we're all in need of self-care. We all are facing the concerns of keeping ourselves as well as our families safe and healthy. And often our own self-care gets put on the back burner. And I know that's true even for me. The past 2 years has given me the opportunity to pause and check in with myself and ask, how can I be fully present for others if I'm feeling the need for self-care? So I want to take this opportunity to explore with you some simple ways that we can make self-care part of our daily routine so that our cup is full enough to spill over. So as we begin, I want to begin with a meditation to clear your mind. And so just wherever you are, sit in a comfortable position. If you want, you can close your eyes. And let's start with just taking a few cleansing breaths. So inhale deeply through your nose and exhale through your mouth. Again, inhale through your nose. Exhale through your mouth. And one last time, inhale and exhale. So we're going to go to the house of perception. I want you to imagine that you are walking down a street and you see a very interesting house. It's called the house of perception, the house of your senses. And as you walk into the house, you see that there are many rooms with doors and symbols on them. The first room you come to has a large eye on the door. You open the door and realize it's the room of vision. It's filled with junk, garbage that you have put there over the years to prevent you from seeing as clearly as you might. In your mind's eye, see all the junk and cobwebs in the room and begin to clean the room with cleansers, a broom, a vacuum, whatever you might need. Once you have finished, throw all the junk out, open the windows, and let the room fill with fresh air. See it bright and shining. Look out the window and see the scene outside, noticing all the colors. It's now time to leave the room of vision and proceed to the room of hearing. It has a big ear on the door. And as you open this door, you hear a cacophony of discordant sounds. The room is filled with rubbish. There's a lot of wool on the walls and thick covering of wax everywhere. So you clean up the room of hearing, making it as clean as you can, knowing you are improving the quality of your hearing. When you finish cleaning this room, open the windows and let some fresh air swoosh in. Hear it swoosh in. Listen to the breeze as it whispers past you. Now, listen closely to all the sounds around you. Listen to your breath. And now it's time to leave the room of hearing. We proceed now to the room of smell. You know it's the room of smell because there's a large nose on the door. And as you open this door, you smell a combination of terrible scents, including old moldy food. So you begin to clean the room of smell, really scrubbing all the corners and cracks. Make it light and clean and sweet smelling. And as you do so, you begin to smell all of your favorite scents. Enjoy this room now, breathing in its fragrance deeply. It's now time to move on. We proceed now to the room of touch, which has a large hand on the door. Clean it very thoroughly, throwing out all the junk that prevents you from feeling the textures. When you finish cleaning, move about the room and slowly feel the textured walls. Rub your hands over the velvet, silk, and sandpaper on the walls, the ice and the tree bark. Notice how good everything feels to your skin. It's now time to leave the room of touch, but there's one more room to clean. This room is in the attic. You walk up an old spiral staircase to the attic, which is full of cobwebs and bats. This is the room of your sixth sense, the room of extrasensory perception, the room of inner vision. And it is very dusty because it has not been used for a very long time. So you begin to clean the room of the sixth sense and you notice a circular window at the far end of the room. It is so dirty that you can't see out of it, and you begin to scrape and wash it clean. And as you do so, a beautiful scene unfolds before you. As you continue to look out this circular window, you notice all the colors, sounds, smells, tastes, and textures about this scene. It's now time to leave the room of your sixth sense. You close the door behind you, walk back down the spiral staircase, past the other rooms of your five senses, leaving all your cleaning materials in the hall closet, and you step outside of the house of perception and find yourself here. You may open your eyes if you had them closed. So to begin putting self-care into practice, it helps us to do a little bit of assessment on the various aspects of our life where we might need to refill our cup. And so I hope you guys can see this from where you are sitting. If not, you might have to step forward a little bit or move forward a little bit. But we're going to go through this assessment one row at a time. And I want you to determine which number you are on this scale today. And this is just a point in time assessment of how you're feeling today. So we're going to start with your mood. And so 1 being low, 5 being high. Just write down the number of each row as we go through. So for your mood today, were you highly annoyed, irritable, or feeling down? Or maybe a little snappy at your teammates, family, or coworkers? Or just less interested in others or activities than normal? Or were you in a good mood? Or were you very positive? The next one is your sleep quality. Last night, did you hardly sleep at all? Did you toss or turn? Maybe it was reasonable or just okay. Or you had a good night's sleep and felt refreshed. Or you had a great sound sleep and felt very fresh today. The next one is your energy levels. Were you feeling lethargic with no energy today? Or just low energy levels? Maybe it was reasonable, or good energy, or full of energy. Muscle soreness. Extremely sore, very sore, quite sore, mildly sore, or no pain at all. Your diet yesterday or today, were all your meals high in sugar or processed foods, not having any fruits or vegetables? Maybe you had some processed foods, but still no fruits or vegetables. 3, you ate reasonably well, at least one serving of vegetables or fruits. 4, you ate well, limited the sugar and processed foods, and had 2 or more servings of fruits or vegetables. Or 5, you ate really well with no processed foods or sugar and lots of fruits and vegetables. And last but not least, your stress levels. Were you highly stressed, feeling stressed, reasonable and okay, relaxed, or very relaxed? So I want you to look back at the numbers that you scored. And where you scored high, 4s or 5s, means that you're doing well with self-care in those areas. The ones where you scored 1, 2, or 3 are areas that provide an opportunity for improvement. So tonight we're going to focus on 4 key areas. And as we go through each of those, put a plus sign if it's already part of your self-care routine. I just want to stop and check. Are you getting feedback? I'm getting an echo on my end, so I just want to make sure.
I think that's because you have to keep the iPad by the TV, so you might be hearing yourself.
Yeah.
Okay. I can mute it, and then you won't hear the feedback. And then when it's time for us to talk and ask questions, I'll unmute it.
Okay. Perfect.
Okay.
Thanks.
Perfect.
Let's see, that works. That's perfect. Yes. I'm not getting myself back in my ear. All right. So again, if you have 4s or 5s, you're doing great self-care in those areas. 1, 2, or 3 opportunities for improvement. And so we're going to look at 4 key areas. Focus on 4 key areas tonight. And we're going to first talk about physical well-being. Ask yourself these questions. And if it's something that you're already doing, give it a plus sign. And as we go through, you can see again where you might have areas of opportunity. So are you eating healthy and exercising regularly? Do you get enough sleep? Are you keeping up with all of your regular preventative medical checkups? I know that the pandemic over the last 2 years have changed a lot of that for all of us, and some of us may have neglected to get those back on our calendars. I'm guilty of that myself. So just make sure that you get those preventative ones. I know while you're going through where you are right now, there's other medical checkups that you need to attend to, but don't forget those preventative ones. Emotional health. Are you maintaining a work-life balance? Again, with many of us working from home, do you have a start and end to your day? Are you able to express your feelings? Do you have a practice of gratitude or mindfulness? Or do you have a hobby that you might enjoy? With social well-being, do you spend time with friends, even if it's just virtually? Are you maintaining connections and having meaningful conversations? And if you have a partner, are you spending quality alone time together? And then with your spiritual health, one of my favorite sayings is that we are not human beings having a spiritual experience. We are spiritual beings having a human experience. So do you set aside time for those spiritual practices, whatever that looks like for you? Do you spend time in nature? Or do you support a cause that's important to you? Volunteering can sometimes nurture our spiritual health. So again, if there's some areas that might be lacking, how do we begin to build in self-care? You hear a lot of talk about self-care these days. There's lots of people out there charging lots of money for seminars. But in my experience, being a caregiver with my son, when he went through his cancer journey, what I needed was simple steps that I could incorporate into my daily practice. And so that's where this came about. So, sorry. So we're going to start with identifying those small actions that can support your efforts. So as we go through the next section, create a list of things that you might like to add to your daily routine or areas where you want to improve. So we're going to start with relaxation. One of the things you can do is listen to guided meditations or do breathing exercises. You can diffuse essential oils as you do your meditation or your breathing, or you could even try an adult coloring book. And I have a downloadable coloring page that just says breathe on my Alaka'i website, if you want to go check that out. For your health, again, we're just starting with basics, and we've all heard it: exercise, sleep, and nutrition. So for exercise, it doesn't have to be a lot. It doesn't have to be a full Peloton workout. 10 to 15 minute walks for me helps wake me up and get my day started with positive energy. Sleep, sometimes I just need a nap. That was yesterday. I needed a nap. And there's a skill to napping. You don't try to sleep, you just lay down to rest. If you fall asleep, that's a great byproduct, but the whole skill of napping is not to try to sleep, because then you're stressing and you're not going to get the rest that you're looking for. And always drink enough water and plan healthy meals. We're made up of over 60% water. I think it's maybe even 80%. So we need to make sure that we keep ourselves hydrated for our brain function and our body functions. And then again, eliminate the sugar and processed foods from your diet and add more fruits and vegetables. Simple basics that we all seem to forget on a regular basis. The next area is connections. And again, in this new virtual environment that we've all been thrust into, this is a really big one. Some people were able to take that opportunity of the last 2 years and create some different ways of connecting. And even while we can't meet a lot in person, I would much rather be there in person with all of you, sharing this with you. But we can still call friends and family members. We can join an online class like you are tonight. Write an old-fashioned letter. That's something that I think we have forgotten how important a handwritten note, how meaningful it can be for someone. And again, meet with friends, even if it's for a virtual happy hour, but be sure to stay connected. Next, we're going to talk about rejuvenation. And again, while many of us are still working from home, feeling like we're stuck inside all the time, it's important to step outside at least once during the day to get some fresh air and sunshine. To watch a sunrise or sunset. Or for me, my favorite is a moonrise, and coming up the next couple of days with the full moon coming is a great time to go out and watch a moonrise. For some people, rejuvenation is in taking either a hot shower or a cold shower, whichever works best for you. And for some, organizing is even rejuvenating. So if you need to go clean out a closet or a drawer, just reset your energy wherever is best. Next is, where do you find comfort? It might be in baking or cooking, or watching old movies, or making your favorite comfort food. Particularly for me is tomato soup and grilled cheese sandwiches. Takes me back to my childhood, comfort food. Or maybe you find comfort in just hanging out in your pajamas all day. Or you could put all of these into one day. Bake some cookies, watch a movie, make your comfort food, and hang out in your pajamas. And last is expression. How do you express yourself? Is there a hobby that you enjoy? You can try things like journaling. And for those of you that participated in our Discovery Journal workshop last month, I hope that you continue to make and use those journals for that purpose. Listen to or dance to your favorite music, or start a project, a do-it-yourself project. I just thought of something when I said listen or dance to music. There's a little 2-year-old in my life right now. And the other day, it was just free expression. Her favorite thing right now is to attempt to sing Let It Go from the movie Frozen. And she just runs around for like 5 or 10 minutes, just let it go, let it go, at her little high-pitched 2-year-old voice. And it was just refreshing to see that expression with her, and reminded me to let it go. All right, so now take a look at that list and decide one thing that you might want to incorporate into a daily practice, or once a week, or once a month, or even on an annual basis. But for tonight, we're going to start with a daily practice by setting 3 check-in times during the day. So first, in the morning, when you wake up, how will you start the day? You might have a routine already set. Mine, again, is to start with stretching exercises, and then about a 10-minute meditation. And then sometimes I add in a walk with that. Midday, again, important to check in and recharge and reset, especially if you've been at appointments all morning or sitting at your computer all morning. For me, it's making sure that I get up and get moving and get hydrated. And just a little note here, I did, on behalf of Alaka'i Associates, bring in some little Axio drink packets to encourage you to stay hydrated. And these are all natural. It's a nootropic brain food drink. Say that slowly, Lonnie. So if you want more information on that, you can reach out to me, but definitely stay hydrated and keep moving. And then lastly, at night, how do you end your day and prepare for tomorrow? Oftentimes we're just so exhausted, we don't even pause to think back on what went well during the day, what we might have to look forward to the next day. So for me, I make sure that I write in my gratitude journal 3 things. Sometimes they might be just insignificant things, like I'm glad the day is done. I'm glad I have a nice bed to sleep in. And, I'm glad I'm able to take time to write in my journal. You don't have to spend a lot of time trying to think of something deep and important. Another tactic that someone taught me was, if you have a hard time getting started with your gratitude list, start with the ABCs and do ABC the first night, DEF the next night. And at first you might have a hard time coming up with words that start with those letters. So it can be as simple as apples, bananas, and carrots the first night, just to get you going. But make sure that you have an end to your day. And again, you don't have to do all of these things all at once, because getting overwhelmed is not self-care. So you might want to create your own self-care planner or add reminders to your planner or your calendar. You could put Post-it notes on your desk or your mirror. One that I've recently added is a little hand Post-it note to remind myself to give myself a high five in the morning. That yes, I am an awesome person and I am going to make the best of my day. So make an appointment with the most important person, that's yourself. You can also take it one step further and create your discovery journal like we have, or a vision board to keep those self-care goals in front of you. Here's a little image of discovery journal that I've done, and the quote that I love from my son Jacob about creating ourselves with the time that we are given. So whatever method you choose, just make it a daily habit, and it will lead to more joy and abundance in your life. And so as we come to the end here, I want to take a moment to teach you a simple relaxation technique with a gentle hand massage. So if you have your cream or oils, you can get those ready. And put a little bit in the palm of your hand. So a few drops of essential oils or cream, and rub that together, just to create a little bit of heat. Excite those aromas and fragrances. Maybe take a deep breath. And then we're going to start rubbing this area right here, the little pad below your thumb. And give it as much pressure as comfortable for you. I know my right hand, which is the hand I use to write, and my mouse all the time, that one usually seems to have a few more kinks than the other one. And then we're going to move along the side of your hand by your baby finger. So on your palm, up and down. And then we're going to across the joints and knuckles. You want to go in between each one. And then starting with your baby finger, I want you to pull down and pinch it off at the end. So each finger pull and pinch and release all that tension right out the end of your fingertips. Your thumb. And then now you're going to go into this spot right here at the end of between your thumb and your forefinger, and then open that up and thumb and forefinger from the other and pinch right in there. Give that, press in that spot right there. This is a really strong acupressure point for tension headaches. So if you start to feel the tension start to build up in your neck, your head, just give yourself a hand massage and get in there in that spot. All right, so we don't want the other hand to feel left out. So we're going to go over here, starting with the pad by your thumb. And then up the side here by your baby finger. Yeah, again, I can tell my right hand was a little more tense than this one. Across the knuckles, in between those joints. So our hands and our feet are where all of our sensory receptors are sort of focused. They connect to all different parts of our body. So again, we're going to baby finger, pull and pinch. Oh, I got a knuckle crack on that one. And your thumb. And then into that spot between your thumb and your forefinger. I will often do this while I'm driving. I can usually get at least one hand done during a stoplight, and then my other hand is waiting for the next stoplight. But we now all know how drivers can push our stress buttons. So the time to do this is when you're driving. All right, and then again, rub your palms together. One last deep breath. All right. So I hope you found this helpful, and I would like to open it up for any questions or comments or feedback at this time. Faith, if you want to unmute. Or if anybody, we've got Dory and Joy on Zoom as well. So if you want to put something in the, come off mute or put something in the chat. Again, my website is alaka'iassociates.com. And you can contact me through my website.
There you are.
Yeah, okay.
I don't, we didn't have any questions now, but you're going to send a link? No. You're going to be sending out a recording of this? One of the
Yes.
things we need the chart from.
Oh, the assessment, yes. Yep, so I can actually, and I can send that as a document as well. So I'll send that to Michelle along with the recording, and thank you for reminding me. I will stop the recording.